Mark and Elena's story was one for the books, or so everyone thought. They were the couple everyone looked up to, the ones who seemed to have it all figured out. They met in college, two bright-eyed students with dreams as big as the city skyline. Mark was studying architecture, fascinated by structures and foundations, while Elena was an art history major, lost in the beauty of stories captured on canvas. Their love story was a masterpiece in itself, built on a foundation of shared dreams, late-night conversations, and a love so deep it felt unshakable. For 15 years, that foundation held strong. They built a life together, brick by brick. A cozy suburban home with a garden Elena adored, two wonderful children who were their entire world, and a circle of friends who were more like family. Mark became a successful architect, designing buildings that reached for the sky, but his greatest creation, he always said, was the home he shared with Elena. He knew her every smile, every laugh, the way her eyes would light up when she talked about a new painting she'd discovered. He thought he knew every corner of her heart, every secret chamber, every hidden desire. He believed their love was a fortress, impenetrable and everlasting. But one night a single crack appeared in that fortress, and soon the entire structure came crumbling down. It started subtly, a new password on her phone, which she brushed off as a security update. Late nights at the art gallery she curated, which she explained away as preparations for a major upcoming exhibition. Mark, ever trusting, never questioned it. Why would he? This was Elena, his Elena. The idea of her being dishonest was as foreign to him as a language he'd never heard. He was busy with a new, demanding project, a skyscraper that was consuming his days and nights. He chalked up their growing distance to the stress of their respective careers, a temporary storm they would weather together, just like all the others. The change was gradual, but persistent. The easy laughter that once filled their home was replaced by a quiet tension. Family dinners became shorter, the conversations more stilted. Elena seemed distant. It was like watching a beautiful painting fade over time, the vibrant colors slowly turning to muted shades of gray. Mark tried to bridge the gap. He planned date nights, brought home her favorite flowers, and tried to spark the conversations they used to have for hours. But she would smile, a sad, faraway smile, and say she was just tired. Mark felt a growing unease, a cold knot tightening in his stomach, but he couldn't put his finger on what was wrong. He told himself he was being paranoid, that his own stress was making him see shadows where there were none. The fateful night arrived like any other. Mark came home early, hoping to surprise Elena and the kids with takeout from their favorite restaurant. The house was unusually quiet. The kids were at their grandparents' for a sleepover, he remembered. He expected to find Elena in her studio, sketching or reading. But the house was empty. He called her phone, and it went straight to voicemail. A flicker of worry sparked within him. He tried again. Voicemail. He sent a text. "Hey, honey, home early. Where are you?" No reply. An hour passed, then two. The worry grew into a gnawing anxiety. He decided to drive by the gallery. Maybe she was truly working late and her phone had died. As he pulled up, the gallery was dark, locked up for the night. The knot in his stomach twisted tighter. He started calling their friends, one by one. "Have you seen Elena?" he'd ask, trying to keep his voice steady. Each "no" was like a small hammer blow to his heart. Where could she be? His mind raced through 1,000 possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. He drove around their neighborhood, his eyes scanning every street, every corner, hoping to see her car. Nothing. Just as he was about to head to the police station, his phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. "If you're looking for your wife, she's at the Oak Room." The Oak Room. A chic, dimly lit bar on the other side of town. A place they'd never been to together. Confusion and dread warred within him. Who would send this? Was it a sick joke? But a sliver of terrifying intuition told him it was real. His hands trembled as he put the car in drive and headed towards the address, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He parked a block away, his mind a chaotic whirlwind. He walked towards the bar, his legs feeling like lead. Peering through the window, he scanned the crowd. And then he saw her. Elena. She was sitting at a corner table bathed in the soft glow of a small lamp. But she wasn't alone. Across from her sat a man. Mark didn't recognize him. They were leaning in close, their heads almost touching. And then, he saw it. The man reached across the table and took her hand. Elena didn't pull away. Instead, she intertwined her fingers with his, a soft, intimate smile gracing her lips. A smile he hadn't seen in months. A smile that used to be just for him. The world stopped. The air was knocked out of his lungs. It was a physical blow, a pain so sharp and sudden it buckled his knees. He stumbled back from the window, leaning against the cold brick wall of the building, gasping for air. This couldn't be real. It had to be a nightmare. But the image was seared into his brain. His wife, his Elena, holding hands with another man, looking at him with an adoration that was once his alone. The foundation he had built his entire life upon had just been shattered into a million pieces. He didn't confront them. He couldn't. He turned and walked back to his car in a daze, the city lights blurring through his tears. The 15-minute drive home felt like an eternity. Each traffic light, each street corner, was a new wave of agony. The man who had left the house hours ago, worried but hopeful, was gone. In his place was a hollow shell, a man betrayed in the most profound way imaginable. He walked into their silent, empty home. The photos on the mantelpiece mocked him. Images of a happy family, a loving couple, a life that was now a lie. When Elena came home an hour later, she found him sitting in the dark, the uneaten takeout cold on the table. She started to explain she was out with a friend, that her phone had died, but the words died on her lips when she saw his face. He didn't have to say a word. She knew that he knew. The silence in the room was deafening, filled with 15 years of love and trust, now broken and irreparable. The fortress had fallen. He had thought he knew every part of her heart, but tonight he discovered a hidden room he never knew existed, a room where he was no longer welcome. The love story he thought was a masterpiece was revealed to be a forgery, and the man who built his world on a foundation of trust was now standing in the ruins, wondering how he could ever possibly rebuild. This story is a painful reminder that sometimes the people we think we know best can hold the deepest secrets. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it can be the hardest thing to mend. It's a journey through heartbreak that many unfortunately face. If you've ever been through something similar, remember you are not alone, and your feelings are valid. It's okay to feel hurt, to grieve the loss of what you thought you had. Healing is a process, one that takes time and self-compassion. If you're struggling, please talk to someone, a friend, a family member, or a professional counselor. Taking that first step can make all the difference. Thank you for listening. Please consider liking and subscribing for more stories that explore the complexities of human relationships. Stay strong and take care.